Assalamu alaikum and welcome everyone to my channel Baking with Zeba. Hope all are good, all are healthy, and all are safe. So, today, as the topic says, I'm going to make pav or dinner rolls or milk bread, whatever you call it as. It is all the same recipe. Pav is usually, we all know how does a pav look like. Dinner rolls is similar to that. Before going on to the recipe, let me tell you this is a special request from one of my friend. He is from Mumbai and he is missing his pav right in middle of South India. Let's get started and check out the ingredients here. So what I have here is very simple and basic ingredients. This is in this recipe I'm going to add an egg. If you don't want to add an egg, you can substitute one egg with half cup of yogurt, thick yogurt. So I have here yeast, butter, and sugar, brown sugar, and milk which is lukewarm, and half cup of hot water, and some salt and all purpose flour. In this recipe I am using all purpose flour. You can also make this with whole wheat flour. Half and half you have to substitute. Whenever you are making any bread, there is nothing called as full 100% whole wheat bread. Always there is some amount of all purpose flour added into the bread to make it, to give that texture and to give the gluten formation inside your bread. So yeah, I am using here all purpose flour. For initial bakers, it is best you go for all purpose flour or maida when you are starting your baking process for initial stages. So when you get to used about the dough, how it is getting fermented, how you can handle the dough, based on that, based on your experience, you can substitute it with whole wheat flour. I'm going to use an electric blender with dough kneader to knead my dough, because it will take a long process to knead the dough into a very soft texture. You can also do it by hand, but it will take a large amount of time when compared to when you're doing it in a electric dough kneader. So let's get started. I'm taking milk which is lukewarm. Into this I'm adding some hot or lukewarm, not too hot, just to so that you can handle when you dip in water, which is half cup of water. And into this I will be adding butter, which I have here, melted butter. Okay, so this has almost filled. Okay, since this got full, I am just pouring this into this one to mix all my ingredients well. I have poured this. Into this will go now the brown sugar which I have. I'll put whole amount of brown sugar, and let's give this a nice stir. Then goes the yeast. I have your yeast. So this is instant yeast I'm adding here into this. Give this a nice mix so that the yeast and all the mixture gets into well. Then keep this on the table for an about of 2 minutes so that the yeast gets proofed. My yeast gets proofed, I will just break this egg in the same bowl in which I had the butter. I'll whisk this. And for the vegetarians who don't want to use egg, they can also substitute it with yogurt. As I said in the initial of the video, can you see this equal amount of yogurt you have to take? This is about of half cup, so you have to add half cup of yogurt into your dough. Finally, my yeast has got proofed. Can you see how beautifully it has proofed all the froth over here? Now what I will be doing is, I have this egg here which I have mixed. I'll just put this egg into the yeast mixture. And the vegetarians, those who are using the yogurt, at this point you add the yogurt to your wet mixture and give this all a nice mix. Give this a nice mix, and now go on to knead your batter little by little, adding this to your batter. Before putting the wet ingredient, just add salt to your flour. I'm adding 2 teaspoons, and make sure to mix the salt with the flour well, because if the salt is there in clumps, if it goes and interacts with the yeast will die. So that's why mix it well before putting in the yeast mixture. Do not overknead the batter. When you see the batter is leaving its sides, then you stop the electric mixer and take it out and knead it with your hand for 5 minutes. See, the dough is leaving the sides of the bowl, so this is the time when you stop the mixer and take it out. If you noticed, I have used all the liquid which was there. I have used all the liquid, so this is going to be a very sticky and wet dough. I know it will be a bit messier with all this dough in your hand, but trust me, this is like a stress buster. If you once start working with the dough, you will feel how your stress gets relieved and how you feel. It's simply amazing for a bread person like me. I love to play with dough. So now we have to bring the flour onto the surface and knead for an about of 5 minutes with your hand to form it a shape, and then we will keep it for proofing for half an hour. And here, dust a bit on the surface in which way you're going to make this. Make sure that you don't use extra flour, because making extra flour will just waste all our efforts which we have made in forming smooth and a wet dough. And then put some flour on top of it also, just a bit. Make sure you don't use more than half a cup of flour, because then it will intervene with your bread. So just try to give this a shape of a ball. Just manage it. You don't have to be very particular. Just try to give the shape of a ball. Can you see? So when you start to do this, you will actually feel that dough is not sticking to your hand anymore, and it will just, this is a very flexible dough. It is so smooth, so soft that it's just like a baby in your hand. You are handling a baby. All you have to do is rotate it by pushing the inner sides. Can you see my hand action? Just rotate it by pinching inside, just like this. Can you see? Yeah, our dough is ready. Can you see how soft and smooth the dough is? And to check whether you have kneaded your dough well, there is a simple trick which you can do. Let me just dust this here, and just push in your finger inside the dough. If it comes back but holds the shape, it means you have kneaded the dough well. Now what I will do is take a clean bowl and put 2 tablespoons of oil. Grease it well on all the sides, and then remaining oil you grease on top of the dough, and keep this for proofing for about of 2 hours. 1 hour will be okay if you are using instant yeast. Keep it in a warm space, as I always keep inside a oven which is not working, or you can keep in the warmest spot in your kitchen. Okay, it's been 1 hour, and let's see how the dough has risen. I could feel the cloth has come up because of the air that is created. 1, 2, 3. See the magic. How beautiful my dough is looking. It's so soft and subtle. Now comes the fun part. If you're angry on someone and you want to vent out your anger, this is all you can do. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Poof! See, you can vent out all your anger on the dough, because it is so smooth, so nice, just like a stress buster. I like to play with dough. That is why I like to bake breads. This is the most stress busting thing for me. Okay, so our dough is ready. Now I will tell you a very simple method in order to cut your dough into equal form. Either you can use a scaling machine to weight each dough in equal measurements, or else you can follow this simple trick. So I am cutting equal portion of this. So here goes 1. So this is 1, and with this I'll be again cutting 2 equal portions. So this is 2, and with this 1 more equal portion. Can you see the perfect shape? So this is how you shape the dough. When you have taken so much effort to knead the dough and make it so soft and good, take some time in order to shape your dough as well. So I'll just place this dough in the baking rack. Okay, I have shaped all the pavs or the dinner rolls into a baking tray and kept it. And if you could see, these two are the smaller ones compared to all this other seven, because what happened is I had only one one roll left. So I thought instead of leaving one gap, I will just divide that single dough into two so that I will fill up the tray full. And then now again it will go for the second proofing. With keeping it, just cover this and keep for 30 minutes, because second proofing is very much important. At least give them 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been exactly half an hour, and let me show you the second rise, how it has risen. Oh wow, mashallah, it's looking so good, so beautiful. I can't take my eyes off this. Final step before putting it to the oven. My oven is preheating at 180 degrees Celsius. So kindly preheat the oven at this point, and then take egg. If you don't want to use egg, and if you're using curd into this, you can take oil or butter or also milk in order to brush on top of it. I'm using here egg. So this is called as egg wash, which we do in order so that the bread becomes very beautiful and shiny on the top layer. You can also brush it with butter, or you can brush it with milk, or you can brush it with simple oil. Brush it very softly, because they are like babies now. If you brush this very hardly, then what will happen is you will deflate all the air which you created from half an hour by keeping it for proofing. Just I have your sesame seeds, so I'll just sprinkle it very from far away so that it will evenly get sprinkled on top of the buns. Okay, so I'll make 3 sesame seed rolls, and other will be just simple pavs. So this is the same recipe you have to follow if you want to make any dinner rolls for your dinner. My oven has got preheated, and now it's time to keep these beauties inside the oven. Okay, so my pav was baked and out from the oven. Make sure you cover the pav with a wet cloth for 10 minutes so that the pav will get softer in texture and it will be just like a sponge in your hand. Can you feel the texture, how soft it is? Let me just remove this from the pan and show you one. We are going to enjoy this with the bhaji, which is a homemade one, and it is a perfect combination with the pav. And if you guys have liked this video, kindly like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more easy peasy recipes of baking. Until then, this is me, Zeba, signing off, and happy baking.